Welcome to the Typical Skeptic Podcast, where we dive deep, you decide. Questioning the matrix, from UFOs where the shadows unknown reside. Rob Khalil busting myths like ghosts in the night. Paranormal probes, secret space ops, yo, we keep it real, no fright. Typical skeptical, seeking, never sleeping on the lies. Aliens, Anunnaki, black ops in disguise. From abductions to ancient scripts, we flip the script wide. TSP style, mile after mile, truth can't hide. Hold up, TSP crew assemble, we dismantle the fable. My lab's targeted souls breaking out of the stable. Dogman howling, Bigfoot prowling, cryptids in the mist. Mandela the fifth twist in reality, can't resist the twist. Soul trap snapping, reincarnation mapping, holographic dreams, near-death visions, out-of-body missions, waking up the teams. No censorship here, we fear no elite scheme. Conspiracy kings ringing bells, hear the freedom ring. Skeptical seeking, never sleeping on the lies. Extraterrestrials, interdimensional highs. Welcome to the Typical Skeptic.
Welcome to Typical Skeptic Podcast. Be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Welcome to
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of the Typical Skeptic Podcast. I have my good friend Shayden Shawn Nilghe with me, and we're going to play his video here, and then we'll take questions afterwards about his, and then if you guys have questions, he's here now. Let me see if I got him to the stage. Shayden, how's it going?
How's it going? Is there something
Good
wrong
to see you, man.
with
How are you?
Doing good.
Yeah. This is his bio. He was born Shayden. He was born isolated in the north of Saskatchewan. From childhood, he was taken in the military intelligence groups, trauma-based programming, MK Ultra methods, Project Monarch, MK of Delta. The goal was simple: create a service civilian who could be switched on when needed. In 2015, he saw red craft over the ice in Sylvan Lake Lodge. That was the night where he was taken, and we'll read the rest of his bio. Well, I mean, we're gonna play the video, and that shows everything. So guys, get ready for this video. He wants to play this, so
That'll and then we'll take questions afterwards. Let me see here. Share screen. Share. This is like a 30-minute video, so here we go, guys. Shayden Shawn Nilghe was
raised in the isolated north of Saskatchewan. The winters are long and absolute. The summers are short. The sky is vast and rarely empty if you know how to look. This is the place where my life was marked, extracted, programmed, returned, and monitored without pause. I am a MILAB abductee from birth. MILAB means military abduction. It is the claim that some people are taken by human military and intelligence groups, sometimes working alongside non-human ones, rather than by unknown craft alone. From early childhood, I was put through trauma-based programming.
yeah.
There's something wrong with my mic.
Linked to the old MK Ultra programs.
What's wrong with the mics?
Hypnosis,
It's echoey.
sensory deprivation,
Wait, what happened?
trauma,
It's echoey.
create dissociative states. Project Monarch
Well, let me see
techniques
what's going
layered
on.
on top of that. creating.
Let me see if I can fix it. Hold on, let me see. I don't know if it's I have it set up to reduce background noise. Hopefully that helps. I don't know. I can switch to the computer mic, but I don't know if that'll work. Like, is that better?
Yeah, I guess so.
I hope so. Let me see if this works. Is this Sharon still? Yeah, there we go. Okay, yeah, there we go.
Programmable separate mental states. A specialized track called NK Delta. Trained, rapid, precise, deniable action. The overall goal was simple. A surface civilian who could live an ordinary life until the moment he was switched on. My father, Dave Nilghe, lived publicly as an outdoor
Something's wrong with it, man.
land, labor, everything that fit the region. Underneath that cup.
What's going on?
Something's wrong with the audio, with the computer settings or something.
Huh? I don't know. We're not gonna be able to play the video then. I don't know what to do. I switched mics. I'm not sure what to do. Activist says the video sounds like a robot. Yeah, it is a robot talking on there. Yeah.
It's AI. I guess we just play it. I guess
Should just play it. Should you want me to play it, or what should we do?
play it.
Okay, here we go.
However, he functioned as a deep cover operative and handled sensitive material connected to Russian intelligence.
Can you restart it?
Networks.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, I'll
My
restart it.
name is Shayden Shawn Nilghe. I was born and raised in the isolated north of Saskatchewan. Winters are long and absolute. The summers are short. The sky is vast and rarely empty if you know how to look. This is the place where my life was marked, extracted, programmed, returned, and monitored without pause. I am a MILAB abductee from birth. MILAB means military abduction. It is the claim that some people are taken by human military and intelligence groups, sometimes working alongside non-human ones, rather than by unknown craft alone. From early childhood, I was put through trauma-based programming. The foundation came from methods linked to the old MK Ultra programs, drugs, hypnosis, sensory deprivation, and controlled trauma used to create dissociative states. Project Monarch techniques layered on top of that, creating programmable separate mental states. A specialized track called MK Delta trained rapid, precise, reliable action. The overall goal was simple. A surface civilian who could live an ordinary life until the moment he was switched on. My father, Dave Nilghe, lived publicly as an outdoorsman. Seasonal trapping, boat work, land labor, everything that fit the region. Underneath that cover, he functioned as a deep cover operative and handled sensitive material connected to Russian intelligence and other compartmented networks. In March of 2012, the official story said he died in a drunken fight over a bottle. A body was identified. The file was closed. I later learned the death was staged. He was extracted, given a new identity, and moved into protective protocols because he knew too much. I saw him once after the official death, just long enough to confirm he was still alive. Then the trail ended. During that same period, I also crossed paths with elements of the group known as Majestic 12. They person of interest to more than one intelligence service. The night that permanently altered the calendar came in 2015. I was preparing to travel north by snowmobile on the winter trails of the Boreal Forest, heading towards Selwyn Lake Lodge near the Northwest Territories border. Night had fallen hard. The forest was pitch black. My grandfather, Fred Nilghe, sent me down the hill onto the ice to call my grandmother, Mary Ann Nilghe. I walked the trail with a flashlight, reached the ice, and dialed. The phone connected for a second. I heard her voice and static. Then it disconnected. I looked up. A red craft hung in the air, a glowing fireball with a trailing light that moved as if it had no engines, no wings, and no ordinary means of flight. It danced in the sky, unlike any aircraft I had ever seen. I ran back to the cabin. My grandfather did not believe me at first. He took the binoculars. Together, we watched it until it left. Later that same night, I walked outside in my sleep. My grandfather called out. I did not answer. I simply left. There was no struggle. I was taken. What followed survived only as shattered memory. In the language of the secret space programs, it is called a 20 and back. I was removed from Earth, served roughly 20 years in hidden operations, and was returned to the same night, so the calendar recorded only hours. Fragments remain. Training in zero-gravity chambers aboard orbital platforms. Work on lunar and deeper facilities. Operation of advanced craft that could change shape from disks into ordinary airplanes, while cloaking systems hid them from detection. Fighting in off-world conflicts. My physiology gave me an edge-enhanced reflexes, elevated radiation tolerance, the capacity to interface with exotic propulsion. The cost was real. Radiation exposure left burns, nausea, blood changes, and the nosebleeds that never fully stopped. When they returned me, the memories had already been wiped. I told my grandfather I had never left the bed. They did not leave me alone after that. Black vehicles arrived. I was taken to secure facilities. Chemical and psychological protocols consistent with Treadstone-style programming were applied. Behavioral conditioning, memory blocks, chemical wipes designed to erase the 20 years of service, layers of threat assessment, and automatic responses were installed for surface dormancy. Activation remained possible through specific signals, stress, or codes. One night, my consciousness was pulled into a spinning vortex, movement through folded space. When it slammed back into my body, I was different. Instincts sharper, responses faster, calm under extreme pressure permanent. The original version of me no longer fully controlled the frame. The sleeper architecture remained underneath. I still carry a broken memory of the facility near Cold Lake Air Force Base in Alberta. Concrete stairs and a door on the right wall, marked E4. Behind that door, advanced work continued on cloaking systems, shape-shifting craft, and contact with non-human groups. The claim that has stayed with me is that reverse-engineered alien technology was being developed there under Canadian military cover. Plasma profit rocket and technology, also called Voice of God, began delivering voices and signals directly into my head. I came to understand it as calibrated through systems linked to older electronic and psychological influence programs. The signals could read patterns, insert dreams, plant false memories, and deliver commands that felt internal. In black, like the ancient shield rock, acted as a natural resonator, amplifying everything. A physical implant in the left side of my head produced persistent pressure. Years later, my brother and I left Black Lake for Prince Albert. It was a 12-hour drive on the seasonal road. We checked into the Coronet Hotel and walked to the cinema that night. Halfway through the movie, I went to the bathroom. When I finished and headed toward the exit, a man zoomed past me. No wire was already wrapped around his hand, ready. The look was deliberate. I went back into the theater and told my brother after the film. I had seen the same man waiting near the bathroom again. I knew what they were, recovery or containment teams. They were after me because of the red craft and the extraction that had already taken place. We left the cinema fast and headed straight back to the Coronet. Both of us were spooked. My brother checked the window. A van was parked outside that had not been there before. We bolted from the room and ran upstairs exactly the wrong move. They had already taken the stairwell exit. We nearly collided with the same man in the hallway. The suit was gone. He was in casual clothes now, but the face and posture were identical. The second we locked eyes, they broke and ran. We ran the other way. We never saw those particular men again in that form. Cloaked humanoid figures began appearing in the forests and cities, shimmering into view and vanishing like heat waves. One winter, I was running the trail through the boreal forest. The only sound was my own breath and the soft crunch of boots. Then the wood knocks started sharp, deliberate, ahead of me on the path. Not a branch falling, not an animal, something striking wood on purpose. I slowed and moved toward the sound. Standing in the open was a cloaked, translucent humanoid, almost invisible until the light caught the edges. It looked exactly like the predator from the films, tall, angular, the outline shimmering as if the air itself was trying to hide it. Its camouflage was holographic plasma technology, a living field that bent light and color so the forest behind it showed through. This was my first time seeing one clearly. I knew what it was. Reptilian. I picked up a heavy stick from the ground and charged. The figure shifted, the plasma field rippling as it moved, then vanished into the trees. I chased the distortion until the trail and the knocks both went silent. Months later, at home, something scraped or shifted outside the front window. I looked out and saw an 8-foot brown reptilian. Its cloaking technology had glitched. For a few seconds, the field failed, and I could see its feet clearly, thick, scaled, like the lower limbs of a massive brown snake. It stood in the yard, half revealed, watching the house. I took a knife and went outside. Shadows moved where no light source explained them. The thing was casting psychic pressure, trying to scramble my sense of direction and distance. I could feel it close even when my eyes saw only empty snow and trees. My neighbor, must have seen the same cloaked shape. He called the police. Within minutes, RCMP vehicles were on the road, officers sweeping the area with flashlights. I went back out with my throwing knife and walked toward the sound of a dog barking hard in the distance. The shadow illusions returned. I knew it was still near. I moved into a corner of the yard where the fence and the side of the house gave me limited angles. That was when I felt it tracking behind me. I turned and threw the Bowie knife. The moment the blade left my hand, the recovery teams moved. They took the body the same clean way they take everything under the 20 and back protocol. No residual evidence left for ordinary eyes. In the night sky above the trees, a craft formed the number 7, bright and deliberate. I understood the signal. One cloaked asset down, others still operating nearby. The speed and precision of the throw matched the residual MK Delta training that had been installed years earlier. The architecture was still active under the surface. Years later, the same technology kept appearing in different forms. Stealth craft using plasma holographic cloaking that could shapeshift in real time. One moment, a silent disc. The next, an ordinary airplane blending into civilian traffic. Anti-gravity platforms operated under the cover of Canadian government or armed forces black projects. The same systems that hid the reptilians in the forest could hide an entire craft in plain sight over Regina or Cold Lake. In 2023, after finishing high school, I traveled south through La Ronge, Prince Albert, and Saskatoon. In a hotel, the feeling of being watched became certain. The pattern matched foreign special forces presence. I encountered a woman and a heavily built man whose presence carried that signature. The pressure continued.
Wait a minute.
Boarding.
This isn't sharing, Shayden. Hold on, let me see what's going on here. Why is this not sharing? Like, I just checked the YouTube video, and it's not sharing the video. It's like I'm sharing my screen, but it's not sharing the video. It's like, this is insane. Let me see if I can share again.
Damn, really?
I don't want to start up. People are listening though, but yeah, it's not working.
I put out real footage. That this was real legit footage. Can you restart it?
To Toronto.
I don't want to restart it, dude. We're 16 minutes in. People are already listening. People listen to the whole thing already.
Okay,
you know what I mean?
Okay.
There's 37
Special
people.
forces.
It's sharing now. It's sharing now.
Intimidation theater. Residual foreign interest triggered concurrent attention from Canadian intelligence. About a year later, a civilian associate connected to that trip was found dead in winter conditions under circumstances that matched the staged death pattern previously used on my father. The pressure rose sharply in Regina. I saw the advanced craft again. One moment, a silent disc hovered over the city. Its surface flowed like liquid metal and became an ordinary airplane that blended into traffic. On another night, an airplane hung completely still in the sky while people below filmed in confusion. As I traveled toward the University of Regina in a black vehicle, the passengers carried the calm intensity of intelligence officers. Two craft appeared behind us and matched speed exactly one mechanical, one similar to the red orb. A convoy of blacked-out trucks and cars formed around us. Streetlights began turning off in sequence wherever the car passed, then returning behind it, precise and deliberate. That night in a room in Regina, I recorded footage of a craft entering the city. Later, I woke with claw marks on my skin. My veins pulsed strangely. I vomited something that smelled of radiation. I called for help. At the hospital, an unknown doctor identified himself as the head of Voice of God Operations, the same voice-to-skull system that had been running in my head for years. He asked for everything. I showed him the red UFO footage I had caught on my phone. The moment he saw it, security was called. I was placed under involuntary psychiatric hold in a padded room. Inside that room, experimental drugs were administered. Radiation symptoms were treated with intravenous fluids. While I was still fully awake, I felt a sharp jolt of energy move through my body, a hard, full system surge. Immediately after the jolt, time itself collapsed. Darkness became full daylight in a split second. There was no gradual transition. A nurse later asked what year it was. On one occasion, the food on my tray was arranged to spell out J12. Multiple officers treated me as a high-value or dangerous asset instead of a patient. Concurrent Russian intelligence interest was also present. I believe that jolt and the instantaneous jump from night to morning were the start of another 20 back cycle. This time, I remained conscious at the moment of transfer. In the original 2015 extraction, I had walked outside in my sleep. This time, I was awake when the energy hit and the temporal cut occurred. Some of the missing scientists and technical specialists, according to the fragments that reached me, were taken to Antarctica. Extreme isolation, almost no civilian oversight. The claim is they were put to work creating high-technology craft and plasma systems, the same reverse-engineered technology that later appeared over Canadian skis and in the cold lake work. Surface records closed on those people the same way they closed on my father. The architecture simply continued operating wherever the geography and the secrecy allowed. I have returned to the original northern sector. Surface environment remains gravel roads, continuous forest cover, and open sky. Ongoing indicators include morphing craft still crossing the dark on selected nights, cloaked humanoid forms continuing intermittent manifestation and vanishing, implant residual activity and pressure, and the red craft assessed as conducting periodic check passes. The complete installed architecture remains operational beneath ordinary daily function. The programming layers, the recovery systems, the surveillance, the foreign interest from both Russian and Canadian sides, all of it is still active. Physical residuals continue without full resolution. The nosebleeds, the cranial pressure from the implant, the sudden readiness states that have no civilian explanation. I continue systematic self-documentation. The purpose is preservation of the record against further memory fracture. Every listed program, the compressed 20-year interval, the surveillance systems, The advanced craft, the staged deaths, the foreign interest, and the dormant programming are framed as operational realities. I am still here. The architecture is still active.
I am a MILAB child. From the first years of my life, the military and intelligence apparatus claimed me. They used the old tools, MK ultrapharmacology, sensory deprivation, controlled trauma, Project Monarch layering, to fracture the mind into programmable compartments. MK Delta training followed, rapid, precise, deniable violence. The surface identity was to remain ordinary, a northern boy who trapped, worked the land and stayed quiet. Beneath that surface, a weapon was being forged. My father, Dave Nilghe, lived the same double life. Publicly, he was an outdoorsman. Privately, he moved sensitive material through Russian and other compartmented networks. In March 2012, the official record declared him dead in a drunken fight. A body was produced. The file closed. The death was staged. He was extracted, re-sleeved under a new identity, and buried inside protective protocols because he knew too much. I saw him once after the funeral. Alive, changed, then gone forever. Majestic 12 had watched both of us from birth. My genetics and his knowledge made me valuable to more than one empire. Then came the night in 2015 that broke the calendar. I was preparing to run the winter trails north towards Selwyn Lake Lodge. My grandfather sent me down onto the ice to call my grandmother. The phone connected for a heartbeat, then died in static. I looked up. A red craft hung in the black sky, a living fireball without engines, without wings, moving with an intelligence that ignored every law of flight I had ever known. We watched it through binoculars until it vanished. Later that same night, I rose from sleep and walked outside. There was no resistance.
Wait a minute. I got a question to ask you, Shayden. Is that the actual craft right there? That's it,
Yeah,
right?
it is.
That's the actual footage of the real craft you saw, right?
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. Holy shit. So that's
Majestic 12
You know,
clear
it's
right here.
interesting. My friend Priscilla lives up in Montreal, Quebec, and she gets footage like this all the time too. So yeah, guys, like what you're seeing right there in the video, that's the real footage of the craft that he filmed. So, you can, yeah, like, okay, we're going to continue on here. Yeah.
Since I was taken. What followed is known in the black programs as a 20 and back, but the reality was far more precise. I was inducted into the secret space program's Colonial Tactical Assault Corps, an elite Praetorian force that operates across orbital, lunar, and interplanetary theaters. Consciousness was needlecast from my biological body into combat sleeves maintained for distant operations. The original frame remained under medical stasis on Earth while the transferred self served. Training began the moment the sleeve activated. The first phase burned out the evolved human instincts that limit violence. Compassion, hesitation, moral restraint. These were systematically extinguished and replaced with the conscious, deliberate will to do harm. Reacclimation drugs stabilized the new body. Full-body combat armor, advanced kinetic and energy weapons, close-quarters martial systems, and zero-gravity combat doctrine were drilled until they became reflex. We learned to interface with exotic propulsion, plasma cloaking fields, and shape-shifting craft that could transform from silent discs into ordinary aircraft, while remaining invisible to civilian sensors. We fought off-world conflicts, lunar facilities under contested control, deeper installations where non-human factions contested territory. I operated advanced platforms, cleared structures, recovered technology, and executed missions that never appeared in any public record. Enhanced physiology came with the sleeves, accelerated reflexes, elevated radiation tolerance, direct neural interface with craft systems. The cost was written into the original body. Radiation burns, chronic nosebleeds, blood changes that never fully healed. After approximately 20 years of continuous service, the needle cast reversed. Consciousness slammed back into the original frame on the same night I had left. Only hours had passed on the surface calendar. Memories were chemically and electronically scrubbed. Residual programming remained. I told my grandfather I had never left the bed. They did not release me. Black vehicles arrived. Further conditioning, treadstone-style protocols, memory blocks, behavioral implants, locked the sleeper architecture into place. Activation codes, stress triggers, and signal protocols could still call the train self forward. One night, the vortex returned, folded space, consciousness torn outward and forced back in. When I opened my eyes, the original personality no longer fully commanded the body. Instincts were sharper, responses were faster. Calm under lethal pressure was permanent. The Colonial Tactical Assault Corps training lived underneath every ordinary moment. I still carry fragments of a facility near Cold Lake Air Force Base. Concrete stairs, a door marked E4, laboratories working plasma holographic cloaking, anti-gravity platforms, and reverse-engineered non-human technology under Canadian military cover. Surveillance never ceased. Voice to skull, voice of God, began speaking inside my skull. An implant in the left side of my head produced constant pressure. The ancient shield rock around Black Lake amplified every signal. Years later in Prince Albert, recovery teams appeared. A man in a suit passed me in a cinema bathroom with piano wire already coiled around his hand. We escaped. Outside the Coronet Hotel, a van waited that had not been there before. In the hallway, the same man, now in civilian clothes, locked eyes with us and fled. Cloaked humanoids began to manifest. One summer afternoon on a boreal trail, the wood knock started, sharp, deliberate, non-natural. A tall, angular figure stood in the open, its outline shimmering with holographic plasma camouflage that bent the forest behind it into visibility. Reptilian, I charged with a heavy stick. It rippled and vanished. Months later, an 8-foot brown reptilian appeared in my yard when its cloaking field failed. Thick-scaled feet, psychic pressure scrambled distance and direction. I threw a Bowie knife. Recovery teams removed the body before any evidence could remain. Above the trees, a craft formed the number 7.
Wait, what's that?
Confirmation that one asset was down, others...
What was that?
This is a reptilian right in front of you.
Let me see. I rewind. I did see it.
Reptilian appeared in my yard when its cloaking field failed. Thick-scaled feet, psychic pressure scrambled distance and direction. I threw a Bowie knife. Recovery teams removed the body before any evidence could remain.
That's insane.
Above the trees, a craft formed the number 7. Confirmation that one asset was down, others still active. The speed and precision of the throw were pure residual CTAC training. The same technology continued to appear in the open. Craft that shape-shifted from silent discs into civilian aircraft mid-flight, anti-gravity platforms operating under black project cover, streetlights extinguishing in sequence around black convoys. In 2023, the pressure intensified. Foreign Special Forces signatures. A civilian associate later found dead under staged circumstances identical to my father's. In Regina, I filmed a craft entering the city. I woke with claw marks, radiation vomiting, pulsing veins. At the hospital, a doctor identified himself as the head of Voice of God operations. When he saw the footage, I was placed under involuntary hold, experimental drugs, a full system energy jolt while still conscious. Time collapsed, night became full daylight in a single instant. Food on the tray arranged to spell NJ12. Officers treated me as a high-value asset. Another 20 and back had begun, this time with awareness intact. Beneath the surface, the real war continued. Underground military bases formed a global network controlled by the Cabal, Illuminati, reptilian elites, the same forces that had claimed me at birth. Inside those bases, organs and adrenochrome were harvested from victims. Missing children were taken into the tunnels. Exotic technology was stored and refined. The Alliance fought that network in the dark, and I served as one of its underground super soldiers, operating through the same needle-cast protocols and combat sleeves perfected by the Colonial Tactical Assault Corps. I participated in operations that dismantled bases, recovered exotic technology, and extracted children from Cabal facilities. When the time came for the complexes beneath my own region, Black Lake, Uranium City, and Selwyn Lake Lodge, the mission was executed through an Alliance combat sleeve. When the charges detonated, I woke in my own bed. The clone body had completed the run. That morning, an earthquake rolled across the north. The mission was confirmed successful. The surface apparatus struck back. The RCMP in this region is compromised and interwoven with the Illuminati network. They harvested my nephew. I walked into the emergency room and saw a nurse extracting fluid from his stomach while he choked to death. They ordered me away from the room. I already knew what adrenochrome was. He died of his injuries. I still do not know what was done with the fluids taken from him. Because I publicly exposed Voice of God technology, the response was total. False memories were implanted. I was framed as a schoolyard threat. Cover stories and news narratives were manufactured. My medical records were deliberately destroyed and rewritten to portray me as mentally unstable. I was formalized as a targeted individual. The Voice of God system was intensified, experimented upon, and evolved into an AI-driven surveillance and harassment architecture capable of dream manipulation, continuous profiling, and systematic discrediting. The organizations behind this apparatus are the RCMP, CSC, CSIS, CIA, NSA, DARPA, and MI6. Together they refine the tools of mass surveillance and control. My primary surveillance node is Section F of the Black Lake Detachment. A dedicated spy system there links directly to the Communications Security Establishment's central facility, the primary voice of God hub for targeted individuals across Canada. Dream simulations are real and currently operational against targeted individuals. Mine began as military training continuations of the Colonial Tactical Assault Core Doctrine. In one simulation, I operated in Afghanistan at night in blackout uniforms. My squad formed up, entered a structure, and engaged terrorists. I cleared them with an M4A1. When the rifle ran dry, I transitioned to a 9 Beretta, leapt, and shot a target mid-air. The entire engagement ended under my sole control. In the next simulation, the setting was a Vietnam-era forward operating base at night. Helicopters sounded overhead. I climbed a tower, watched a friendly killed by a Tanta blade, jumped and rolled from height, and charged the attacking force. Outnumbered and under blade assault, I disarmed the first enemy and eliminated the rest with only light cuts on my hands. Once again, the super soldier protocols activated without hesitation. Now the simulations have shifted. They are no longer pure training. They are profiling, odd, deliberate psychological mapping conducted by the Section F officers. The same technology that once prepared me for off-world combat is now used to study, test, and contain. I have returned to the northern forests. Gravel roads, continuous tree cover, open sky, morphing craft still cross the dark on selected nights. Cloaked humanoid forms continue to appear and vanish, the implant still presses against the skull. The red craft still conducts periodic check passes, the AI surveillance continues, the dream simulations continue, the framing continues. The complete architecture remains operational beneath ordinary daily function. The programming layers, the residual CTAC combat protocols, the recovery systems, the multi-agency surveillance, the alliance service, the war against the underground cabal, the harvesting, the false memories, the ruined records, the AI systems of control, and the live dream simulation program, all of it is still active. Physical residuals persist. Nosebleeds, cranial pressure, sudden combat readiness that has no civilian explanation. I continue systematic self-documentation. The purpose is preservation of the record against further memory fracture and narrative erasure. Every program, every compressed 20-year interval of elite colonial tactical assault core service inside the secret space program, every recovered child and piece of exotic technology, every destroyed base beneath Black Lake, Uranium City and Selwyn Lake Lodge, every staged death, every dream simulation, and every layer of the control system is recorded as operational reality. I am still here. The architecture is still active. The war continues beneath the sky that has never been empty.
That was amazing, dude. Thanks, man, for sharing that. Do you want to take some questions, or do you have any comments about it, or what do you want to say?
I'm not too sure. I guess follow me. I guess I go live on Twitch.
Oh, you go live on Twitch?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. Did you want to take a couple questions or something like that, or what do you think?
Sure.
Okay, if you guys have any questions for Shayden, this is the guy who made the video. This is whose experiences it was, Shayden. And, we'll take a couple questions if you have a question on here, or if you want to leave a question on Rumble or whatever. And, this was, this is from Eric. He says, what are the nosebleeds all about?
It's just like medical procedures to wipe your brain memories.
You know what's so weird about that? Like, I'm not sure if I've ever been involved in a black program, but like back a couple years ago when I was working this had to be over 3 years ago now. I was getting massive nosebleeds all the time. You know what I mean? And they wouldn't stop. It was weird. Like,
yeah, you get in my lab. That's why.
You think for real?
You talk about it a lot. Must be that's why. Eh?
Yeah, I think so. Right? Where are you from originally? You sound Hawaiian almost.
I'm from Canada.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. Willow wants to know what is 20 and back and what is Project Delta. She says, if you want to
Project
explain it.
Delta is a CA mind control program, the sub project of Monarch. Now it's just the 20 back is like a space program, time travel tours, dilation tours. 20 back is pretty much just like a secret space program, just like that.
Yeah. What was it? What was it like seeing that reptilian? That reptilian looked crazy. That looked absolutely real. Like that looked interesting, dude.
Yeah, the RCMP were on it too, so I had to keep it secret for a while, so it doesn't get any attention.
Yeah. Janet Paul wants to know, was that an SSP testimony? Yes, it was, So yeah, I'm excited for you, man. That I mean, like I thought that was very interesting, That
Thank
was
you.
very interesting. Like, yeah. Um, we'll wait to see if any other questions come in. Let me see here. When did you start putting it all together that you might have been an asset or been taken?
After I did LSD, I went into a, what do you call that program? Montauk?
Oh, okay, yeah.
I seen the grandfather's paradox in my own eyes, so the matrix broke. So if you think about it, this is a matrix. It's like a game. You
Yeah.
just gotta learn how to play it.
This is a good question from Sovereign Cosmic Mama, and he wants to know, is he native? And then he says, wasn't there some program up there where they recruited natives for the SSP?
Yes, I am a Native American. Dennis was cleaning to be exact. First Nation.
That's interesting, yeah. This is from Janet Paul. She says, how many 20 and backs did you do?
A lot. I think about like 60.
Holy shit. This is from the activist. She says, I'm in Nova Scotia, Mi'kmaqui.
I'm
What's Mi'kmaqui mean?
not sure.
Uh,
I'm in Saskatchewan.
this is from Eric. He wants to know, he said, how did you produce this? Or the voice is AI? Or how did you
Yes,
put this
it's AI.
information? It's
I
AI.
generated the text and I edited it.
Yeah. So the AI just basically reads it for you.
Yeah, so you don't have to read through the whole thing,
Yeah, that's pretty smart. Yeah, that's I like that. Yeah. We'll just wait for more comments to come through. Joanne Wright says, I thought SSP were off Earth. No, like SSP is a blanket term. It can be on Earth, off Earth. It doesn't necessarily have to be on Mars. There's people who do SSP missions on Earth too. You know what I mean? But they're taken off planet to do things. But some people have experiences on Earth too. You know. He says, typical skeptic podcast, dude, re-explain that part about seeing an extracted person one time during their funeral. This is interesting because people report seeing passed away people at their funeral. Do you know what he's talking about?
Yeah, I guess people do find a way to fake their deaths.
Yeah. Do you think that's what might have happened to James Rink and Renetta? Do you think they might have faked their deaths, or they were extracted out of here?
Possibly. There's a possibility.
Yeah, I thought so too. How do you feel about everything now? How do you feel about it all?
I guess everything's alright.
Yeah, you're just dealing with it. You're like, yeah.
Yeah, just living with it. I don't travel that much because I get a lot of activity from Russians and other foreigners.
Yeah. Oh, the activist wanted me to let you know, she said Mi'kmaqui is the name of this land on the east coast of Canada in the US.
Oh, I didn't know that. Big monkey.
Um
Oh, that's where he is. Okay.
wait for more questions to come through. I don't think he knows Karen, activist. I don't think he knows Karen McDonald. Sovereign Cosmic Wildman says, where do the Sasquatch fit into all this?
It's pretty much an extraterrestrial, dimensional one.
So it's like another extraterrestrial being.
Yes, I did see his footprints before. It's really big.
Janet Paul says, do you remember any other planets?
Yes, like there's like a aquatic version. There's even like a fiery place. I don't know. I think it's like a draconian area.
Wow. Oh man. She says, are you able to recall without LSD, or do you think the LSD kind of cracked your mind open?
Yeah, I did.
It opened up your mind, yeah. What did you think your grandfather and your father were also involved in programs or something? I know you talked about it a little bit in the video that your father was kind of, used in these, but like talk about that a little bit. What do you think they were both assets or something like that?
Yeah, I'll tell you one thing. I seen him before, like for a second. I just seen him, and it just vanished. It turned into another person. So I guess that's like alien tech.
Yeah. Yeah. She says, what about aliens, reptile people, lizard guys? If you go back in the video, he showed his video of a reptilian. You can see you can see the reptilian head popping out. That was like real footage of a reptilian, Yeah. Uh, what's your YouTube link? Can you tell people? I guess we'll finish up then. Do you want to tell people your YouTube and they can watch it?
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Oh, wait, let's see. He's gonna send it to me, guys, and then we'll finish up. Tonight's a kind of a slow night. I don't have a lot going on. I did 10 shows over the past 3 days, guys. So if you haven't seen all my shows, definitely, check in. I mean, I had Richard Syrett from Coast to Coast AM on. I had Freddie Silvan talking about the megaliths. I had all kinds of stuff. So
I sent it. Oh, there it is.
Is that it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So there's a lot of shows for you guys to watch. There's a lot of audio podcasts to listen to. I uploaded 11 audio podcasts in the next few days. Spotify and Spreaker aren't sending out notifications to my audio podcast. So please check out the audio podcast. Shayden, do you have anything else you want to share before we go?
No, that's everything. I've been working on this for a while.
Thanks, guys. Support the podcast if you like everything. Catch up on all the shows. There's a lot of shows over the past 4 days. I'm off the rest of the night. I got to do like behind the scenes kind of work, get some new guests and stuff like that. And thank you, Shayden, and thank you, everybody. And I appreciate everybody's time, and have a good night, guys.